you can't live that way and get to God. So when I pastored a church, and I would do the same thing today, I would tell the homosexual, the lesbian, the prostitute, the alcoholic, you can come. And you can sit among us. And if you're a prostitute, I won't tell you not to sell your body. If you're a homosexual, I will not tell you to change your lifestyle.
Come on.
I'll tell you this. If you have a desire for God, if there's something in you that's crying out for reality and to know God, I won't have to change your life.
That's right. Amen. That's reality.
Because all you need, you see, you have the seed of Christ in you. And all you need is someone to speak and to minister the love of God to you, to water you, to nourish you, to love you regardless of how many times you backslide.
Well.
And not try to correct you in an outward way, but love you and minister to you. Your life will change.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
This is the confidence that we must have in Him. That if He has called us to do a work, then we have everything we need to do that work.
Amen.
Good.
I said this morning, and it was pointed out to me that many would misunderstand perhaps, but I said you don't need to pray, you don't need to fast, you don't need to do... You see, we don't need to do things, although we do all those things.
Understand. I know exactly. Understand.
But you see, people will listen to a message and they'll pull out something like that, and then that's what they use to criticize.
Amen. Come on now. That's the truth.
But see, even if I did say that and I meant that, well, that's the part of the message you just don't put on the shelf and don't listen to it. But we have to stop throwing away the man or the woman and realize that all of us have something to offer. Two seeds growing in the same field, and Jesus said, let them grow together. Don't try to take the tear out. You see, don't try to deal with what we would call in our eyes as a sinner, whether it's a prostitute or whatever. Don't try to rip that tear out. Don't tell that person you can't live that way to get to God, because as you tear that tear out, you'll tear out all their hope. There are multitudes of people shipwrecked today because no one has understood the love of God enough to minister to them right where they are. Well, that's changing today.
They said, but come on,
because we realize that God is all inclusive. I love what Carlton Pearson has called this gospel the gospel of inclusion. No one is left out. No one. Think of it. Can you imagine how this world is going to change when everyone realizes that God is not mad? He's not mad at anybody. Imagine, people that are sitting in churches where they begin to hear the message of God's all-inclusiveness. I can't imagine what it would be like to believe in this eternal hell thing. Think of the parents that are tortured, that have had teenagers die from drugs or, anything, and have that concept of an eternal tormenting hell. These may be pretty strong words, but I'll tell you something. The God of the Christian system is a false God.
Amen.
Mhm. Come on now, that's the truth. Amen.
The image that is placed in your mind that would cause you to believe that God would torture any of his creation, that image is a false God.
Mhm. Come on now.
And that image must be torn down in our mind.
Amen.
And I found this again and again and again. The people who have really been touched by the love of God, they have no problem understanding that. No problem at all. I mentioned that, the book that we published that shares how this gospel came into the church, originally it was a pagan doctrine. Like so many of the things that have crept into the Christian system were paganistic in their origin.
Amen. Amen.
And paganistic celebrations and doctrines were brought into the church to appease the pagans.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
And I'll tell you this too, I'm not against those things. For instance, a lot of people say, well, if you're a Christian, you shouldn't celebrate Christmas. There's nothing wrong with decorating a Christmas tree or, having a feast with your family or exchanging gifts. There's nothing wrong with all that. Don't let me see you worshiping that tree now. And people used to do that. But see, all of these paganistic doctrines and holidays were brought into the church to appease the pagans. And the Catholic Church originally brought the doctrine of eternal torment into the church to keep its members in bondage to the church. Now, I don't know if they still do this, but I know as early as, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, my wife was in the convent studying to be a nun when God spoke to her audibly and told her to leave. But the very first thing they told her when she went to them was that she would go to hell if she left.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what, that doctrine of eternal hell has been used simply to keep you in bondage to religion. And to make you walk a life of the fear of God rather than the love of God.
Yeah.
You see, if you fear God in the wrong sense of the word, how can you love someone? How can you love someone that you fear?